Hey, everybody. Hey, Lisa.
Hey Tammy, how's it going? Hey everybody.
Really good. Hi, everyone. We've got Susan, the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Good to see you, friend. Tina
Hello.
over at Life in the Piedmont. Hello, friend. Thanks for coming in. Gwen, Broke Cowgirl Homestead. Troy Sutton. Heather, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Adrienne, Indiana Backyard Gardener. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in today. We've got some fun talking to do. How have you been doing, Lisa?
Doing good. Better today. I know it's
All the
nothing like you
babies.
have. Huh?
I saw the babies.
Yes, we got two little babies and they're teeny little things, but they're doing really well. But yeah, doing better today because we are in the upper 70s will be by the end of the day, but we've been in the
Nice.
90s, which I know is nothing compared to most of you, but for us
No,
that's
we've
hot.
got it here. It is hot. The 90s is hot and uncomfortable. And
Aren't
it's,
you hotter than that?
yes, we were up at like 98 ish, 100. I don't even know. I just know it was hot. Hey, Jaden, so good to see you. Thanks for coming.
You have air conditioning?
We do. We have air conditioning here. So that's awesome.
Thank
Because
goodness.
if you'll remember, northern Arizona, for people that don't know, you think Arizona, you think like hot desert, 120 degrees, which you get a lot of that in Phoenix and even some in Tucson. But you go up north towards the Grand Canyon where we were, and you get up into the 90s, but nobody up there has AC units because it's hot in the day, but it would still get down into the 60s and maybe even the 50s at night, which I love.
That's us.
That's the good life.
That's
There's
us.
other,
Like when it hit 92 both days, I think, and we're talking pathetic humidity, like
yeah,
60% one day, 30s the next, and it was
yeah,
like I was sitting there going,
yes. I know it. I know. I miss it because we get, the heat and the humidity here.
"Oh, I don't know how you do it."
Mm. Well, you go out in the morning and you try to get out of that stuff before it gets too bad. Kind of like Arizona. In Arizona, when you're in the valley, you try not to be outside too much when it gets, that hot. It's dangerous too.
Yeah. Hey, Gail.
Susan's got triple digits where she is.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I think it's just hot everywhere, but
I've
that's okay.
decided, I've officially decided I will take 20s to 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
I would say you are pretty flexible with 20s to 80s. That's like a nice range.
I mean, I complain when it's cold and it does paralyze me, but I got to tell you, I would much rather keep putting on clothes than keep taking them off.
Yeah. Yep. You can only
And
take off so much. So there's that.
below zero, though,
Uh
I'm
huh.
out of
Oh,
control.
yeah.
Not happy.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to have to bump it up. For me, like my best favorite temperatures would be in the upper 30s to the high 80s. I could roll with those. But this getting into the 90s and stuff with the humidity is kind of awful.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I only gave the 20s because I feel like it's pretty fair for where we live.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey,
like
and
Gail was talking triple digits, and I'm like, we
it's
had talked about moving to Texas at one point, and I was like,
mm-hmm.
no,
Mm-hmm.
I
You know what
can't.
we're doing right here? We are
What?
choosing to be happy with where we see the benefits and recognizing that there's going to be a portion of the year that maybe we're not going to be crazy about, but we're choosing to look at the good side of things. That's especially with you with going down to 20. Hey, Tina Ladybug, I need your address.
Hey, Tina.
You need to email me your address, Tina.
Adrian, is it humid by you? It is paralyzing. And in the winter, the humidity is bone chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Exactly, Troy. I don't want to end up in
Yeah,
jail.
yeah, that's not a good plan. Hey, Jan, thank you for coming in. All right, so today we're going to be talking about choices And I named the thumbnail after a book that I read, and I'm going to share with you guys some of the information in that book. But the book is called Manage Your Choices, Manage Your Life. It's something that I read when I was actually really young, and it kind of changed my course, I think, a little bit on how I approach things. I think I might have been around 18, 19 years old, but like early 19s, because I met my husband when I was 19. I read the book before I met him. But anyhow, manage your choices, manage your life. And it starts out by talking about when you make a decision, whether it's to get something to drink, what are you going to get to drink? Hey, Blue, good to see you.
Hey, Blue.
Whether it's a big decision or a little decision, what you going to have for lunch, what you going to have for dinner. Are you going to go somewhere today? Are you going to stay home? Are you going to get up early, sleep in? So on and so forth, right? With your decision making. And it just, hey, Suburban Hillbilly, good to see you.
Hey, Rebecca.
And it described your brain as a basic room that has filing cabinets, lining the walls. And then there's all these filing cabinets back to back. So if everybody could get a mental picture of this huge room just filled with lots of filing cabinets, right? That's your brain. Welcome to your brain. You can color those filing cabinets whatever color you want to make them. Maybe throw some plants in the corner or what have you. But that's your brain. When you go to make a decision, even if it's a little one, even if you're consciously making this decision or subconsciously making this decision, what happens is those filing cabinet drawers all fly open. And this is like a self-cleaning room, okay? So bunches of papers come flying out all over the place. And you know what's on those papers? What's on those papers is, have you made this decision before, and what did you decide to do that time? So there comes a little organizational stack of how many times you've done something before. And then you've got some papers on there that talk about how do you feel in this situation, especially if there's any feelings of fear, sadness, regret, those kinds of things. And then you get more papers stacking up like this. Y'all following me?
Mm-hmm.
We're making
And
a
when you
decision.
sleep at night, I just typed that in the chat. When you sleep at night, that's what your brain is doing, is filing things back away.
Awesome. And then, so here you are at this decision, all these papers, right? So your feelings, what you've done before, what you've seen other people do plays an impact in your decision making. And it's all on these papers flying out of the filing cabinets in your brain. That's what gets stuck in there. And then a decision's made. And basically, the most papers win kind of thing. Whatever you have the most of. If you're just letting things roll and you're just kind of rolling with things and letting the pieces fall where they may, file 13 overflowing in your brain, Blue. So this is what happens in the decision making process when you're making choices. But we were all kids once, and even I was going to say worse than that, but maybe that's not the right way to phrase. And then we were teenagers, right? So we've made a lot of good decisions, all of us, good decisions, bad decisions. We've seen other people make good decisions, bad decisions. We've seen people who live a great and healthy lifestyle, and we've seen probably more people that don't, because it's just, I don't feel like our society is really wired for us to inherently live a really healthy lifestyle. We aren't necessarily all set up to do that without a lot of effort, right? So,
Don't get me started on that.
right? I sit for a living. But
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Somebody was talking about this the other day on Instagram, and I had commented on it, and I said what they were talking about is how the world and our food system changed and got broken.
mm-hmm. Yep.
And the reality of it is we as a nation
Mm-hmm.
and as a people had a huge role in that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because of our
Yeah.
choices. We didn't want wimpy looking chickens in the grocery store. We didn't want imperfect produce. We didn't want any of that.
Yep.
The bigger the better is what was ingrained in our heads. And because of that, people rose to the occasion and took advantage of that and did it.
Yep.
It's still going on with
Yep.
a lot of people.
Sure is. Mm-hmm. Yep. So it is hard. It is hard. Now, there was another book that I read. So that book was really great for my young self to see. And my older self, I don't like to ever say old because old equals oldest, right? Like that's when you think of somebody who's old, you think they're like the oldest of like everybody. Like of everybody. The old group. They're just, if you think of it, I'm not ever going to be old. I want everybody to say amen to that because none of us have to be old. We will always be older. Every day we're older. We don't have to be old. Old equals oldest. So even my older self thinks back to that book and the things that I read, and I try to keep conscious of that in the everyday choices that I make. So I want to share with you all another book, and then I'm going to share some. We're going to chat about some things that came out of this one, and I haven't read the whole thing. Okay, so I'm not going to get into the weeds too much, but it's called Master the Moment, and it's basically written by the author is Pat Brands is his name. And it was written based on feedback received from, now bear with me on this one, follow my thoughts through. Based on feedback received from 50 different CEOs who not only run multi-million dollar businesses, but they also get a lot done in their life. And so, of course, I don't care about first off, I don't care about the multi-million. I'm not a money-oriented person. That's not in my, makeup. Don't need that stuff. But I do like to hear about how people are getting a lot of stuff done. And I like to hear about how I could get more done and be happy with my choices and what I'm doing in my life. So
And I think that's real important to share because
yep,
even though you're not a CEO or not looking at corporate productivity, there is a lot to be said about getting things done efficiently, quickly, and getting more done.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And feeling like whenever we come to reflect on our own lives, that we're happy about the choices that we made, right? Like we're happy about what we chose to do. So then they talked about habits, and I thought that might be fun to chat about the common habits that they all shared. And the first of those is just being authentic. So, being who you are and remembering what your interests are, what you're interested in, what you like to do, where you want to go in life, and all of that good stuff. Is that resonating with anybody here?
I think
You think?
that covers all of us here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the reality is that if you're not being authentic and genuine, what's the point of anyone tuning in?
Yeah. The second thing was favor trusting relationships. And I feel like that's kind of like we only have so many hours in the day. We have a lot of people we're responsible to in our lives. I mean, we have a lot of roles that we all have to play. Even if you're not employed, you've got roles that you have to play. So, you've got to be your gardener. You've got to be the household cook, probably most of the time for us women. Or we could eat, whatever the hubbies cook. But I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute. Um, but I think that just favoring your trusting relationships and your team, your smaller team that's there with you to help each other be the best they can be. I
Right.
think that's important too.
Yeah.
That's on the list of habits. That's habit number 2. Habit number 3. Okay, this one we were talking about a minute ago. We could talk a lot about this one. Maintain a lifestyle that will give you maximum energy.
Maximum energy.
Well, one of those, you said it earlier. Let me find your comment and I'm going to share that again.
Okay.
You said when you sleep at night, your filing gets all filed back away. So for maximum energy, we got to make sure we're getting enough sleep. There's so much that happens while we're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, aside from like our thoughts in our head, you've got your liver doing clean out. You've got your whole body just still processing everything and trying to rest and repair.
Your brain needs sleep. It's super important. I tend to be a night owl. I have the worst sleep habits ever. But I do get the most sleep that I've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm. I'm lucky if I get 6 hours in one sleep. Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably need more than that, Blue.
Yeah. I feel you, Rebecca.
Got to put it in my mind.
Oh, you froze,
Yep, that's
Tammy.
another one coming up.
There you go.
Com-
You're back.
Uh-oh.
No, you're back.
Complete insomnia. Oh no, suburban hillbilly. I'm sorry to hear that. There's a lot of different herbal teas you could try. You know, if you're an insomniac because you think too much when you're sleeping, one herbal tea that I love for when I tell my brain is just skull cap.
Try
It
try
actually,
removing yourself from the screen and coming back again.
me? Okay.
Y- Yep. She'll be back. We're gonna try and see if we can fix the lag.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Whew, relief. Okay.
Little bit of a
Um,
lag, but not bad.
okay. Whoops.
Yeah.
Blue, I can't lie down for longer. My back does very. Oh my! You got to take naps. You got to get that sleep sometime.
Oh, you're
And the
freezing
other
up.
thing that sets us. Oh,
I'm sorry. I just want to be on. Oh, geez, there she goes again.
I
She's
was
a
trying to
trip.
fix it.
She is a problem solver, like anticipating and jumping on it, as you were. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for
So
bearing with
sleep.
us.
Yes, thank you. So sleeping and the food we eat, right? Like you were just talking about, Lisa. The food that we eat, is it really giving us maximum energy? How are we feeling after that day that we had McDonald's? Or and they say that however you feel, whatever you eat one day, you're probably going to feel it the most the next day. Have you heard that?
I've heard it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So living a lifestyle that helps us to have maximum energy. And I don't know,
Hmm.
I've got a lot of work to do there, I think. A lot of work to do with that with that. But we've been working on it. Hence my Summer of Salads collaboration. Yeah. I want to make restaurant quality salads. Because those are the kind I like. Anybody ever had a salad at Panera's? I don't know if
Oh,
everybody has a Panera's. If
it's
you've
been
ever been at a
years.
restaurant, you had like the most amazing salad. That's the kind of salad I want to eat, and there's no Panera's around here. I haven't, so I need to learn how to make them myself. That's my goal. Heather at Milk and Honey Heritage Farms and I are teaming up on this because she's got one running that's for salad dressing. So we're kind of going together with the salad one. Oh, and Adrian used to work at Panera, so she knows what I'm talking about with those good salads. But
Cool.
all right, so where are we? That was number 3, maintain a lifestyle that will give you maximum energy. And number 4, listen to your biorhythms and organize your days accordingly. So
Hmm.
listen to your biorhythms and organize your days accordingly.
My biorhythm is take it very slow in the morning and then get moving
Mm-hmm.
after Mountain Grandma's live.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
No, seriously, I don't get a ton done unless I have to in the
uh-huh.
morning, but then I am on fire
Yeah.
in the afternoon. And Ryan is the opposite. He prefers to get it done first thing in the morning. And I'm like, no.
I'm a morning roller. I'm a morning roller too. I'll get up and that's when I can be most productive. Maybe after, I don't know, 15, 20, 30 minutes, maybe. I mean, I do take a couple of minutes, splash my face. I like to. get outside in the morning a little bit in the sun. And most of the time, I have a lot to do on the inside of the house too. Plus, my job. So there's that. But
I like to ease into my day, several hours into my day.
there you go. That's your biorhythm. Everybody should know. If you don't know your biorhythm, anyone in the chat or listening to the replay, you need to really focus on learning your biorhythm. When do you feel the best? And whenever you feel the best, that's when you need to try to do the most.
Yep.
Because then you're optimizing your own output, right?
Right. Like right after this, like last night I did laundry, and right after this I'm going to hang laundry on the line. I'm going to go prune in the greenhouses that it's cooler. Going to hose off all the pigs, do all that kind of stuff. But like watering at 6:30 in the morning is not happening for me. I wish. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm tired of fighting it. Yep. Ryan calls himself the lone steader because sometimes he's out there before me.
So funny.
He'll send me videos, like it's at like 7 o'clock, and he'll be like, "We're out here. I'm the lone steader." I'm like, whatever.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Well, that's why you guys have a great team.
That's right. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. That's hilarious. Yeah, milk and honey. That's exactly what I do. Is first thing I get up, I go out and I take care of everybody. Then I ease into everything. Then rock the second half.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Exactly.
In the morning.
It was funny. The other day, somebody was here and said that Lisa looks like she's moving slow, and Ryan was like, "Yeah, she hasn't had coffee yet." She's feeding the animals, opening the greenhouses. She hasn't had coffee yet. Might want to leave her alone.
Have you tried cayenne pepper in your coffee yet?
No.
Lisa, you got to try that. It doesn't change the flavor. It just gives it a little kick. Just a little kick. Okay, so that was...
Look at Adrian. I get it, Jan. I get it. It's wisdom, Jan. I swear that's what it is. Wisdom.
Yep. All right, so that was number 4. Listen to your biorhythms and organize your days accordingly. It makes me wonder if there's anybody who sets themselves up for failure. Do you know what I mean? Like, are they setting themselves up for failure by scheduling to do things at a time, or maybe even a day of the week? Because your biorhythm could be a daily thing, but it could be a weekly thing. Like, I usually feel like crap on Thursdays. Anybody else got that problem with Thursdays?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It's a Thursday thing. I'll swear I've had this for like years. Thursdays are kind of rough. I think it's because it's towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the week. And then I'm also one of those, employees for work. I like to try to have as much of my stuff like either cleaned up or planned to be addressed by the end of the week. So Thursday is like crunch time, and then I'm organizing my Friday too, and there's usually still meetings. And yeah, Thursdays just I'm not feeling it on Thursdays. I should have planned a crock pot meal every Thursday because I know what it's going to be like. Like there's a way I could optimize my own output by thinking about my biorhythm for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so number 5. I kind of like this one. Set very few priorities and stick to them.
Repeat that.
Set very few priorities and stick to them. Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
I think I need to work on that. I think I might set too many priorities.
But the hard part is you're working. So are you differentiating between your real life and work priorities? And then the second part is, are you putting too much pressure on yourself to get the things you want to get done in little time?
I think that sometimes I might be. Okay, so right now on my kitchen table, and I was talking to Heather at Milk and Honey Heritage Farms yesterday, and I told her this. Heather, everything I told you is on my kitchen table is still on my kitchen table. I've got
It's okay.
amaranth there. I started harvesting my amaranth, and I found a super easy way to do it. So that's great news. Did I finish it? No, I still got to finish it. So there's that. But I did start. And then I've got essential oils out because I got to make my bug spray. So those are the two things I need to get. I wanted to get them done over the weekend, but I just ran out of weekend. I ran out of weekend to do it. So it's still there.
It's
But
okay.
I think that the priorities, see how there's like two projects though? Like I need to pick one. I need to pick
Yep.
one thing a day that is extra and try to do it. And instead of thinking I need to get both of these things done.
And if you don't get them done, it's okay.
Hmm.
You have to also take into account that you are, oh, how do you say it? Like you have to find balance.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to find balance. Yeah. And yesterday was like, I was the last couple of days been working on YouTube stuff. So, you know how that goes. You got a video, you got to edit.
I can't even get any out. So,
It's hard. It's hard. Other things will take priority.
right.
I think of the set very few priorities and stick to them as being like I'm always going to have a priority. Like my day job always has to take priority and precedence. Do you know what I mean? Over YouTube. And my family, of course, takes precedence over everything except for the good Lord himself, which of course takes ultimate precedence. But
Bye,
it's
Rebecca.
a hierarchy. But then every day we could try to pick something, right? Thank you,
Right.
Suburban Hillbilly. All right, so number 6, turn down things not consistent with your priorities.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Is it consistent with your priorities? Does it bring you joy?
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, turn it down.
Yeah. Is it feeling good in a positive way, right? Like
Is
even for your health and
is it causing you stress?
that's a good one, Lisa.
I turn down collaborations not because I'm trying to be mean, but I it causes me stress lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I accepted one, like case in point. Now Blue bailed my butt out, but case in point, I screwed up with Jam It Up June, and now I
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure I get that out. But I don't want to accept invitations and then screw up and
Yeah.
cause a problem to somebody. I feel awful about that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I did it and I can't do anything else but make it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It can be stressful. And there's a lot of collabs
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
I always tend to respond better to the ones that are the most organized because then they put me on a deadline. I'm like a deadline driven person
Right.
because it does that extra stress makes me get things done,
Me too. Me too. In
which is
this case, I
sometimes it's
lost
overload.
I lost track of dates in my head.
Hmm.
So I thought that it was in the I thought I had another week date wise,
Huh?
and I did not.
Oh, shoot. That happened to me with Jam It Up June too, but I made it. But I was thinking it was one day and I happened to be editing a little bit earlier and realized it was the day before I thought was my day. So I made it by the skin of my teeth.
But you did it, and that's awesome. And yeah, usually I'm really early and I have it posted, ready to go, all that stuff. And
Never,
no,
never me. That's like it was a fluke.
I totally screwed up.
Yeah, I always tend to be. If I get a video out, I probably finished it the night before,
It's
if not minutes before.
all right. You made it.
All right, so the next one is set aside time for focused effort. Set
Ooh.
aside time for focused effort. Yep. Heather said deadlines are great for her too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. YouTube helps me be the best I can be. That's what I feel like about YouTube. I do, because it's like homework. I give myself homework.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. So it was set aside time for focused effort. That's how if I can hyper focus on something, I'm gonna, I'm gonna rock it. And I think most people are that way. If you can hyper focus on something, you're really going to be able to
Yeah.
get something done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Hey,
Near.
here.
Thank you for coming in. And then number 8, the 8th habit is always look for ways of doing things better and faster.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm. Hyper focus on the seed swap when I do that. Yeah, you would have to, Adrian. Your seed swap is amazing.
I know it.
Yeah, ways to do things better and faster. Whenever I'm doing something outside, my husband comes and shows me what I'm doing wrong. Like, why
How to
aren't you
do it
doing
better and more
how to do it
efficiently.
better and more efficiently? Because I'm out there, we had debris everywhere. I'm out there with the rake, kind of sweeping it all like a broom.
Yep.
And it was working, over
Yep.
to a pile. But he's like, let me stop you there. Take your rake like this, go like this. Now walk over there with it. I was like, oh, okay.
Ugh.
Once I get, a littler pile.
I
Yeah.
often use my rake upside down. You're going to laugh. The fan rakes.
Uh huh.
I turn them
Yeah.
upside down after I've raked a pile and I push it.
Yeah. Oh, when you push it over there? Yeah,
But
he
that's
had me
because we
push.
have pine needles.
Uh huh.
You get
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So you
I
can push
do.
them because of the weight of them. They're
The
not
pine
heavy.
needles that go through too, like the when you do it the other way.
Bye, Tina. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tina.
Adrian said, very seldom am
Uh
I.
oh, my froze.
Oh, look at her problem solving.
Analytical thinker. I must plan, plan, plan.
Do you get stuck in the
Yeah,
planning, though?
I can be
Do
stuck
you
in
get.
planning for you.
Well, that's what I'm wondering about Adrian. Do you get stuck in the planning?
You
I
ever
used to do all that, but it's not
planned
as
for
bad now.
something for a very long time, Adrian?
Sorry, Mountain Grandma. Repeat that.
I was asking Adrian too. Adrian, do you ever get stuck in planning for a very long time? I was years in the planning to make soap before we did it last year. She said, I do sometimes plan and replan.
So let me give you kudos, Tammy, for reading a book at 19 years old or 18 years old.
Uh huh.
That
It was
book you
like
were talking
18.
about.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I wish I would have. Well, I don't think my self at that time would have listened to the book. So kudos to you for being insightful enough to do that.
There
Because I
was
know I
another
read
one.
a.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I read a book in my 30s,
Mm-hmm.
early 30s, and it it was a great self-help book. It was a Wayne Dyer book. I don't remember the name of it now, but I will say this. There was one question in there that said, basically, if there were no obstacles, what would you do with your life?
Mm-hmm.
And at
That's
that
a really
point,
good question.
and at that point in time, it really was provocative and got me to think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I went back to school for mental health and
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of thing. So it really
Awesome.
kicked me in the butt. But if I was 17, 18, self would not have even.
Well, Lisa, I still didn't go to college till I was 25. So there's
25. Well, that's not bad.
yeah, I'd had Katie, and yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and then I kept dreaming about being in school, so I figured God was trying to tell me something. I read another book when I was 18, 19 called The University of Success, which was amazing. It was this huge fat book, and I had it on my desk at work. I actually worked at Arizona State University at the time, and I had it on my desk, and I would read a chapter every day, like during lunch and my breaks. But every chapter of this University of Success book was a like a, what do they call those people? A positive speaker, like a life
Motivational.
motivational speaker. Yeah, it was one of those people. Every chapter was, "Hey Nancy, our treasured home, good to see you. Is setting time to reflection and breathing on your list?" Hold on, let me see. No, it looks like they don't do that, Troy. It
Should
should.
be.
It should be. I think that goes with, like, I would throw that into listening to your biorhythms and organizing your day accordingly, or
Good
maintaining
point.
a lifestyle that gives you maximum energy because you just have to.
You can't go, go, go.
Mm-mm. You can try, but
Well,
where
you
you're
can succeed at
going,
it. You can succeed at it, but it's going to kill you in the long run.
it will. Yeah, you'll send yourself going down totally the wrong path. Okay, where are we? Hold on. How much time we got? Oh, we're doing good.
Doing
Uh,
great.
yeah, always looking for ways of doing things better and faster. That's the last one that we mentioned, and I'm telling you, I we were watering the garden last night at night again, and I hated it. Like, we've got to water the garden in the morning because I was like, no, it's still too hot. No, it's still too hot. Sun doesn't set till 8:40. Let's go out there at 7:30. So we get so we went out there at 7:30, and then it's still hot, and then you start to get the mosquitoes, and it doesn't seem like the mosquitoes are as bad in the morning.
Oh, they're horrible this year.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Trying to talk my husband to helping me move a farm stand over. Oh, that'd be awesome, Heather. And Nancy said I went back to college 3 times and dropped out, then stopped when her son was sick. And in
Yep.
2011, got my criminal justice and CSI degree. How awesome is that?
Good for you.
Yeah. Kudos to Nancy because that's awesome.
Yep.
All right. So finding those, I feel like that's something I could work on, even finding ways of doing things better and faster, especially, I don't know, especially outdoor things is the thing that I'm with the garden. I feel like I could definitely increase my efficiency out there.
So one of the things, like when you're actually planning stuff, so
Hmm.
how long does it take you to water your garden is something to think about, right?
Yep.
And so for me yesterday, I think it took me an hour and 15 minutes
Hmm.
to water everything in the different places and all that. And so, like I said, I choose to do it later in the day because that works better for me. I usually do it right before chores,
Hmm.
and then I feed the critters, and then I'm done.
Yep.
Um, because morning is just not going to work for me.
Yep.
But for you, like, so you know how long you need, you know how long before you start work.
Hmm.
You know what time you get up in the morning. Like those are the things to look at and factor
Yeah.
in. Is that going to work for you?
Hmm. Yep. And how I'm going to feel after.
Right.
So it's kind of like, for some things, you go out there and you do it in the heat of the day. What are you going to feel like when you're done? You're going to feel totally tapped out. You're not optimizing your output, as a human machine. You want to think
Right.
about it like that. Whereas when we went out and we watered in the morning, those days we'd come back in and I felt good. We both felt good. Like, okay,
Really?
now on to other stuff. We weren't as hot and drained and sticky and, feeling
Well,
like
there you go.
new
And
bug
that's
bites.
the thing to consider too, because you're also dealing with different temperatures than I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good to see you, Ed. Hi,
Hey,
Ed.
Eric
Good to see
Wildman.
you.
Hey,
Yes, the shade helps for sure. That shade does help. It's brutal out there. Hey,
yeah.
Joe.
Hey,
Good to
Joe.
see you. Yeah. So I think kind of focusing on, doing things at a time where you're going to feel good after you get it done is helpful. And
Yep.
then number 9, Lisa, I'm going to let you speak to this one. Build solid processes.
So, what do we mean by that? Well, I mean,
In
let's
homesteading terms.
yeah, I mean, let's be real. I mean, you know, good example, wintertime here. I know we're summer, but let's talk wintertime here. Solid processes. How do I keep water from freezing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can go out there like a lot of people who think I'm just being real. I'm not
Yeah.
nagging on anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you think I'm going to go out there and bust water 50 times a day,
Mm-hmm.
that to me, that's a waste of energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a waste of water because you have to remove all the ice to keep it from refreezing quickly.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it would also be impossible because it freezes solid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's a waste of water if I have to turn the bowl over and empty that whole thing of ice,
Oh gosh, yeah.
right? So, one of the things that we do is we fill at night because it stays cool.
Mm-hmm.
We have water heaters, and that's a solid process we have. Works every year for us, and every year everyone has water all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So if that, the other thing is how you clean your chicken coops, how you do your chores,
Mm-hmm.
how much do you automate, how much do you not automate?
Mm-hmm.
Do you use feeders for your chickens where all the feed is in a thing and they free feed all day?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you go out there and feed yourself? So those are the things you want to think about because the reality of it is you want to make your processes efficient.
Yeah.
So, hey, Joe. Um, but yeah, you absolutely want to make your process efficient. So, like, we water at night. It gets cool at night here, even in the summer. So the
Mm-hmm.
water is still cool in the morning.
That's so nice about being in the mountains.
Yeah, and it's still cool in the morning. And unless it's in the 90s, then I go down there and hose pigs off during the day, give them extra water. But their water is fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So we just really in the morning, I just go and I open all the greenhouses if it's hot enough.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't need to be fully open, I vent them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I feed all the pigs.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the chickens, they have their water, they have their feed at all times. So it's quite easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mine told me no chickens for 8 years. I have them now.
So maybe it'll work for the farm stand too, Heather.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the garden. I've seen the waterers on timers. I don't know if that would work well here, only because we have such hard water. I'm envisioning all the little holes getting all clogged up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and the drip irrigation and soaker hoses, we can't run anything automatic because if there is ever a leak, the well will be gone.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if you think about it, we
well
share a
too.
well, but then we also have, um, we don't get rain all the time. So there's not a lot to replenish it. So the last thing I
Mm-hmm.
need is an automatic pig water or an automatic, anything with a water supply line is a problem. Why? Because if all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
it leaks and we don't know it,
Mm-hmm.
we could kill our
Mm-hmm.
well. So not
Yep.
happening.
I worry about that too.
It's
The
normal.
timer won't time right. Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing too. What a lot of people don't realize, and Ryan and I've been having these conversations. So if you have a 50-gallon well pump tank, once you use 50
Mm-hmm.
gallons of water, let's assume it's full. You've not done anything, not flushed the toilet, nothing. It's full. Once you start using that 50 gallons and that 50-gallon is gone, you're now pulling directly off your well and putting
Mm-hmm.
pressure on your well pump and can burn it out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So think about that when you do, all different things. So that's why we haul
Mm-hmm.
water.
Yeah. Yep. Talking about things that would tie you down, house sitting. True. When you become empty nesters, everything kind of changes. You lose your extra hands.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Gwen.
Yes, it does, but it's going to run on double time, and sometimes they come back. Sometimes they. Oh, you're talking about kids. Gotcha. Never mind, Heather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the kids do.
Yes, they do.
So
And
I
then
don't
they
know. I feel
become
like I could look at some of our processes and I think it's always worth taking an extra look at how you do things. Certainly look at how other people are doing things. They might have a good
right.
idea about something.
Congrats to
All
you,
right,
Adrian.
number 10, spot trouble ahead. Spot trouble ahead and solve problems immediately. I think homesteaders are typically pretty good at that,
We do our best, I think, but I think a lot of it is.
spotting the trouble.
I think a lot of it is just out of our control, right? You can spot all the trouble you can, um, but the reality of it is some of it is unforeseen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So true. Yeah. Where a journal comes into play. Oh, for like you're talking about like a homestead journal for
In gardening,
when they're. Mhm.
I used to
Yep.
use a planner all the time. Now I'm just flying by the seat of my pants.
Because you want to,
That's right.
and it brings joy. It's
I've
part of the
followed.
plan. Part of the plan is to not have the planner, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay,
I mean,
so I'm gonna.
I have things in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like important information. Are you
Yeah,
frozen?
and she's
There you are.
okay. Yes, for being prepared for things that come on a regular basis. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And the garden too, like right, knowing where the bugs were and what the bugs were that were in that location, so you can avoid planting the same thing there. 15 jars of chopped jalapenos pressure can, now 15 in the canner of gravy. Go get them, Gwen. That's awesome.
Oh, Ark Wildman, I hope you're doing okay. Take deep breaths. Don't
Dang
worry
it,
about
Art.
it.
Thank you so much for doing what you do for us, and yeah, hope all is well. Wonder if it's because of the heat.
Yeah, that can be a major factor.
Mm-hmm. Past diseases, things that worked and things that didn't. Yep. Yeah. In designing your processes. Yeah. It's funny how when we were talking about the garden, I think it was last week or the week before, Lisa, and you
Mm-hmm.
said if you get those little black beetles, put diatomaceous earth on them. What do you think it was that I got? Those little they've got to be the same bug you were telling me about. Little
Darn
bitty
thing.
tiny black beetles getting on my eggplants.
And did the DE kill him?
Yes, but I got to go put more on
They're
it.
really
Back. Yeah.
rotten.
I know, but the eggplant's surviving.
Well, that's
So,
good.
and it's got flowers. One of them has a lot of flowers too. So, flea beetles, is that what they're called?
Yep.
Yeah, they tend to like my eggplants. I haven't seen them really on anything else though. Do you think they'll get on something else?
I've had them on broccoli and cauliflower.
Okay, so they like all the brassica stuff, huh? I do have some okra over there. We'll see if they get on that too. All right, so I'm going to recap for us. I think we got like 5 minutes left. And just as for anybody that joined late, these were the habits that some, okay, don't run away when I say this. These were habits that some multimillionaire CEOs followed, or I guess they interviewed like 50 of them. And of these 50 people, they shared their habits. And these were the common habits that they all had in common for being successful. So I know we all have different goals than probably any of these individual people. I mean, I don't know, unless I don't know. I can't think of anybody that's really up there that I would want to that I'd want to be like. But anyhow, I do want to get a lot done, so I'm interested to hear what their habits are, because
Yes.
you got to give them credit where credit's due that they're able to get things done. So number one was be authentic. That kind of goes back to absolutely know who you are, what's important to you, what you value, your own style, your own preferences, what you love to do, what you hate to do, and all that stuff. So be authentic. Favor trusting relationships. So, know in your inner circle who you can trust, who your people are, um, and work together with them. I think of the favor trusting relationships as kind of a back and forth thing. You trust these people with the information and feedback that they provide to you, and you support them in return. And you have this relationship with people that you trust in that regard, and you help one another to be successful in whatever way success is to you. And I think success can be something different to everybody. So.
Yes.
Number three was maintain a lifestyle that will give you maximum energy. So that means making sure you get good sleep, because that's when your body repairs itself. That's when your liver's cleaning out all the toxins from your body, and your brain is resting. If your brain's not resting, try skull cap tea. That will help. um, Listen to your biorhythms and organize your day accordingly. Did you see? Hey,
I know.
G Mama Grows. Good to
Sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. Hey,
Yeah,
G Mama.
as long as you don't do it. When I used to have my back, I had back pain for like almost a whole year, and I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't sleep but for like 2 hours. Anyways, that's probably for another time. But I would say I just need to push through. I just need to push through. I would tell people this. I would tell like my husband, yeah, I'm just gonna. He'd say, "Stay home. You need to call in sick. You need," and I'd be, "No, I just need to push through." I did. That's. I think he heard it more than anybody, because he was the one trying to put the reins on me of like, "Slow down, woman. You're killing yourself." And sometimes he would get. I would listen. He'd get pretty insistent, and it was probably a darn good thing. Um,
Mountain Grandpa's got your back.
he totally has my back. He's such a good husband.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so listen to your biorhythms, or maintain a lifestyle that will give you maximum energy. That's number three. So if you don't get sleep, you're going to get sick-er. So if you already feel sick, you're going to get sick-er. You're going to get weak-er. Um, you're going to get fat-er. You're going to get all those ers that you don't want to get, okay? Make sure you sleep. Don't work a job you hate too long. It'll kill you. That's another thing. I love my job now. I've got the most amazing job ever. Um,
Yep.
that's number three. And that goes into your food and stuff too. So if you figure out you're feeling really like not doing anything a day after you had McDonald's could be the culprit. So just saying. Maintain a lifestyle that will give you maximum energy. Number four, listen to your biorhythms and organize your day accordingly. Yes. Yes to the naps if you need them. Yep, yep. I say yes to that. Oh no. Whistle stop home. Ed said, "What's sleep?" Dang
Yeah,
it.
I know it.
If you and sleep have not made friends, you need to reintroduce yourselves.
Nicely said.
Listen to your biorhythms and organize your day accordingly. I think of that as like, for me, it's watering the garden late afternoon, like at the hottest time of the day. Is just not a good plan. Um,
Okay.
Number five, set very few priorities and stick to them. And this could be a daily thing. Like,
Yep.
you know, what are your priorities for the day? I think that's what works best for me. Today, I'm going to get this and this done.
Yep.
Number six, turn down things not consistent with your priorities. Number seven, set aside time for focused effort. Hyperfocus on stuff if you need to. I love to do that. I'm good at that. Hyperfocusing. Number eight, always look for ways of doing things better and faster, which is part of building solid processes, like Lisa was talking about earlier. Look at how your homestead's running, whether it's your garden, your animal setup, whatever, and the way that you typically do your daily chores at certain times of the year, because there might be an opportunity for you to get things flowing a little smoother and optimize your time.
Or when you water your garden.
Yes, or even just time of when you do it. Because when I water my garden in the morning, I'm ready to do other stuff after. I don't feel totally tapped out versus,
Right.
in the hottest part of the afternoon where I feel like I need to just, rest after that. And then the last one, spot trouble ahead and solve problems immediately.
Just to let you know, we are at time, but I didn't know if you wanted to share what we were talking about before we went online for next week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So next week, we want to focus on successes and talk about all of our wins. And I am hoping you guys can all share what you feel like your wins are for the year, that you had goals at the beginning of the year. We are 6 months through. This is the 6th month. We're wrapping up.
Woo!
Can you believe it already? We're like knocking on the door
it.
of the holidays practically. So yeah, I'm interested to hear what everybody's successes are.
So I just look at the time, and I'm trying to be respectful but mindful because I know you have to get going.
I do. I got to change hats, literally.
So bring your stories next week for us.
Yeah. And then we'll chat about that. So thank you all so much for coming. I hope you found this valuable, and I hope that you're leaving this live feeling motivated and encouraged to go get the stuff done.
Whoop, whoop. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.